Well, he, along with his partner, Jim Meyer, are the principals in Meyer Shank Racing that have won, get this, IMSA's Rolex 24, the Indianapolis 500. He has a four-time winner, Elio Castroneves, that he just signed to an extension with a contract, teamed up with the flying Frenchman, Simon Pagenaud. We're talking about Michael Shank, who's been a friend of Wind Tunnel since its inception. Mike, good to have you back with us. So it's been kind of like, I would think, drinking out of a fire hydrant this year, seeing how you had to move into your new building and just so many moving parts. Did you ever kind of lay in bed and say, "Oh my God, what did I just do?"
Well, I definitely keep a notebook. First of all, it's great to be here again, Jack. But yeah, I keep a notebook on my bedside. My wife is always waking up. What are you doing? It's because my brain can't switch off because we're trying to stay ahead of all these fires. But nothing but grateful. We've had a great run here for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm happy that we can keep advancing the team. We're always looking at ways to either be bigger or better, mostly better, to be honest with you, in both IMSA and IndyCar. Had a tough IndyCar year this year, no doubt. Had a great IMSA year. We're one of two cars in the championship in DPI with our Acura, and that I'm grateful for. And but it's like any stick and ball sport. We're continually looking at how we can be better, looking at the tapes, watching what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, and trying to grow what we're doing here.
Let's focus just for a moment on the season in IndyCar. Look, without question, it has been uber competitive. The points chase, all of a sudden, when you think you got it figured out, Joseph Newgarden goes out and whips his teammate and gets back into the hunt. But from your perspective, I'm sure you had hoped for a better outcome.
Yeah.
And yet, in talking to both of your drivers, it seems as if everything is coming together in the long term versus maybe the short term gains.
Yeah, I guess you're always trying to paint the pig nice. I don't know, but listen, if I'm grading us, the best I'm giving us this year overall, team drivers, everything is a C minus. That's the best, right? And that comes from several things, Jack. It comes from engineering, preparation, driving. We just haven't been able to land on all the right things. I mean, we're doing better than some and worse than some, right?
Right.
And we're kind of in the middle of the pack. But in this series, listen, yes, Newgarden is just killing it this year. But by the way, I've seen 4 or 5 races where they've had a miserable time, right? It's so my point in that is that it's whoever's going to make the least amount of mistakes, because we're all going to make them, right? Is Penske better at not making mistakes than Ganassi or us? Or, I don't know. The answer is probably yes, but everybody's got to manage these mistakes. That's what this is about, right? Managing the downtime. And what do you take out of the downtime? Simon at Iowa a month or so ago, we took practically no points out of that place. We had a radio fail in the second race. Simon didn't have anything to do with that, right? And on the ovals, when you don't have a radio, you're not going around that circle anymore, right? They shut you down immediately. So it's stuff like that. We had problems with fuel in the second road course race with Simon. We even had a little issue with Elio's car this past weekend. So it's just managing these mistakes and trying to be more consistent, trying to put our people where we think they are best. And it's a continual dance that I believe every single owner would tell you if you asked them.
Yeah, no, I, in all my years of experience, I would have to totally agree with you. But my experience has also shown that that's when leadership rises to the occasion. So you're the team leader, you're the mastermind, you're the genius, whatever they want to call it. So how do you get everybody on the same page and putting notebooks beside their bed to try and come up with ideas to get better?
Honestly, the motivation I try to share with people is kind of where I sit and how I sit here. I'm at my office right now. I'm here every day in the shop, trying to make it relatable for everybody about how crucial every single role is in this shop. Whether you're sweeping the floor or whether you're doing the gear stack in the gearbox, right? Every single role plays such a crucial part. I'm all in. I'm pushed all in. My wife and I, all my finances are pushed into this circle along with Jim Meyer and Liberty Media. And what are we doing to try to be better? Is it acquiring people, acquiring other teams? What can we do in personnel? Because at the basis of all this is the foundation. It's like that solid bedrock of people. That's what I'm focused on. Do we not have someone in here we need to help build this team up? And it starts at the top. I've got to drive this, and what I try to preach is kind of ownership thinking. Like everybody, even though they don't have equity in the team, have a feeling that what they do goes toward that, and that's a tough sell, right? Because everybody's making a living, right? The better we do, the more we will all have in results, in income, in sponsors, so on and so forth. So it's an appeal to them, right? It's an appeal to them to be great.
You know, Mike, a week ago on Wind Tunnel, I had a very long conversation with a fellow owner, but in the NASCAR side of things, Justin Marks, who is what he refers to, you call, everybody ownership thinking. He refers to it as disruptive culture in trying to get everybody to, whether they have a stake in the ownership or not, it's the culture of winning. That's a moving target, though, as you've just shared with us. This week it's maybe right here and you can laser focus it. And the next thing you know, the following week, it's way off somewhere else in the far corner.
Yeah. Justin drove for me for a couple of years very recently, right? And he's got a vibe right now that he's putting out that's really working, obviously. I'm super proud of what he's been able to do over there. We're saying the same thing, though, Jack, I think, honestly. And he's doing it in a hipster way. And I'm a little older than him, probably another generation older than him. But we both understand. And by the way, Justin and I talk offline all the time about what are you running into with COVID and how you're handling going to Canada. And, we talk about things because there's so much relatable things between the two series that people don't think about. But at the end of the day, we both have to get our people to buy into what we're selling, right? And how it benefits them if they do. And loyalty, right? From us to them, right? And showing empathy and sympathy when they need things done in their personal life. And all these things we try to do to make this a better place to work than maybe somewhere else. These are challenges every single day, Jack. Every single day we're dealing with someone's sick or someone needs to do this. And, can we make it better? Can we tweak? It's just a very, very tricky target. And people like Chip and Roger that have been around for a lot longer than me, Bobby, these guys have had to deal with this a lot longer than like me and Justin have, right? And it is tough. It is really difficult.
Let's switch our attention to IMSA, as you alluded to, enjoying the polar opposite over on the IMSA circuit as you are in IndyCar. But looming on the horizon are some major changes with the shall I say, the manufacturing specs. Maybe that's the easiest way to put it in 2023, and couple that with something that I think has got to be near and dear to your heart, and that's the return of IMSA to the road course at the famed Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How out front have you as an organization had to be while you're competing for a championship, also preparing for a seismic shift in IMSA and their specs for 2023?
Great question. As we speak today, right now, I've got my guys in Arute, Atlanta with the LMDH car. So my team, MSR and Wayne Taylor Racing, are a full partnership trying to develop this new car. They're down there running it today. We've been 3 or 4 tests. This is probably the 4th test with the car. We get our car tomorrow, literally tomorrow, our first car tomorrow, and we go directly to the wind tunnel with it, actually. It's very tricky to keep the intensity of the program. And by the way, the 2 Acuras are the only ones eligible for the championship as we go into Petit Le Mans, which will be a bloodbath between Wayne and I. Wayne and I had beers last week out at Monterey Historics and kind of decided how we're not going to try to kill each other because
Yeah, wait till they
race,
drop the rag. Okay.
we race on Saturday, and then Monday we're on track
Yeah.
as teammates again, right? So it's going to be tricky, but there's a huge effort on that car. Acura, HPD, Honda have just done an incredible job. We got a brand new power unit plus hybrid now, plus an all new car. Our car kind of looks like the old car, but I'm telling you, it's 100% different, and a whole new era. And I got to tell you something, Jack. These cars are so complicated. They are not at F1 level, but just a tick below it, but way above IndyCar, way above NASCAR. I mean, we're doing some really, really cool stuff technology wise in the new IMSA car, and we call it GTP now. And I think it's a great time for people that love cars, because these cars are going to be beautiful and they're going to be fast.
Well, and I think they give us at least a sneak preview, although we don't know what Honda and Chevrolet have in mind for the hybridization, as I like to call it, of the upcoming engine package down the road for IndyCar. But,
Right.
One would have to assume that gives you at least initially a little bit of a leg up, because you're in development with electrification, which doesn't involve plugging your computer into a socket.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I think this all, on the Honda side, I mean, there'll be a lot of similarities, I think, between this and what we do in IndyCar, but I don't know the full detail of that yet, but that's coming in 2024.
Yeah. Hey, it's always a pleasure to visit with you.
Love it.
Keep the faith, keep working hard. And, listen, if Justin Marks is a hipster, all right,
Yeah.
then you are old school with a hip vibe. How about that?
I got it. Or a bad hip. Either one. I don't know.
Either one. Mike,
No, I'm good.
Best wishes and
Right,
continued success. And you'll turn the IndyCar thing around. I have no doubt about it.
We'll be good. All right. Thank you.
Right. We continue here on Wind Tunnel after we force you to listen to these messages.